Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We all agree that religion is a relatively important part of the culture of any society, and ancient Egypt was certainly no exception. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about ancient Egyptian religion, and we will be talking about more specifically about the main divinities which were worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptian religion is incredibly complex, and the Egyptians worshipped so many deities, so it can be very difficult to list them all in just one video. So for this reason, I'm going to mention just 10 divinities which were worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians were polytheistic, which means that they believed in a multitude of deities. And those deities could be either male or female, and each one of them had particular functions in the universe. And the Egyptian divinities in general were associated with some abstract concepts such as knowledge and wisdom, and they were also associated with many aspects of human life, such as motherhood, agriculture, and writing. So the first divinity mentioned on today's list is Horus, the falcon-headed god. According to the ancient Egyptians, Horus is the god of the sky and kingship, and he was believed to be the protector of the ruling pharaoh. And the name Horus literally means the distant one, or the one who is above. The second divinity on today's list is the god Seth, or Set. According to the ancient Egyptians, Seth is the god of evil, darkness, destruction, chaos, disorder, and conflicts. And Seth is a relatively mysterious and ambiguous god because we still don't know entirely the animal which represents him. It's more like a composite of a jackal, a donkey, and an anteater, the animal which eats ants. Osiris is the father of Horus and the brother of Seth. And according to the ancient Egyptians, Osiris is the god of the dead, resurrection, and the underworld, and he is responsible for judging the dead in the hereafter. Isis is the mother of Horus and the wife of Osiris. According to the ancient Egyptians, Isis is the goddess of the moon, healing, and magic, and she was often associated with motherhood. According to the ancient Egyptians, Isis has the power to resurrect the dead and bring them back to life. Amun, or Amun, is, according to the ancient Egyptians, the god of universal power, and he was usually referred to as the king of the gods, and he was the patron god of the city of Thebes. The following divinity is Anubis. According to the ancient Egyptians, Anubis is the god of mummification and embalming. He is represented as having a jackal head, and the priests would generally wear a mask representing Anubis, especially in mummification ceremonies. And usually Anubis is usually depicted in burial chambers and tombs because he was believed to watch over the dead. Bastet is the cat-headed goddess. According to the ancient Egyptians, Bastet is the goddess of fertility and the protection of the home, pregnant women, and children. The ancient Egyptians also worshipped Ra, who is the sun god, or the god of the sun. And Ra, the sun god, looks very similar to Horus because he is depicted as having the head of a falcon with a solar disk, let's say a solar disk headdress on top of the head. Ra was believed to disappear during every sunset in order to join the underworld and to meet the dead. And in the underworld, he is often depicted as having the head of a ram, so he is depicted as a ram-headed god. The identity of the god Ra was often combined with that of other deities. For instance, if we combine the powers of the god Amun or Amun with the powers of the god Ra, we will have a new deity, which is Amun-Ra. And if, for instance, we combine the powers of Horus with the powers of the god Ra, we will have a new deity, which is Ra-Harakti. Horus is the god of the sky, and Ra is the god of the sun. So the god Ra-Harakti is believed to be the god of the rising sun. According to the ancient Egyptians, Sobek is the crocodile-headed god, and he was believed to be the god of the Nile River and the god of the waters in general. And the last divinity on my list is the god Thoth or Thoth. According to the ancient Egyptians, Thoth is the god of knowledge, wisdom, literacy, and writing. So before ending today's video, I'd like to talk very briefly about the Osiris myth, as well as the rivalry and the conflicts which existed between Horus and Seth. According to the ancient Egyptian mythology, Osiris was once a very powerful pharaoh, and his brother Seth became very jealous and envious of him. So Seth decided to kill his brother Osiris in order to take the throne of Egypt. And he actually did kill his brother Osiris. And when Horus, the son of Osiris, grew up, he wanted to avenge his father Osiris, and he wanted to reclaim the throne, which was usurped by his uncle Seth. So Horus and Seth battled against each other, fighting for the throne of Egypt. And Horus eventually managed to defeat Seth, and he assumed the throne of Egypt. And according to legend, Horus had the left eye of Horus was once severely damaged in the battle when he battled Seth. And then Horus went to meet the god Thoth, who let's say healed the left eye of Horus, and ever since that time, the left eye of Horus became, let's say, a symbol of healing and protection. And that will conclude today's video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. And thank you so much for your attention.